In the insurance space, especially in the P&C space, this can present itself as a challenge because we can insure anybody, right? If you're a P&C agent, you can insure anybody, and it seems to be counterintuitive to think to yourself, I'm only going to go after this client here. Last night, I woke up in the middle of the night and I had this thought, this like lightning bolt hit me around the term, the riches are in the niches. I'm sure you've heard it. I'm sure that it's familiar if you're in business and you have thought about niching down to really attract the ideal client. In the insurance space, especially in the P&C space, this can present itself as a challenge because we can insure anybody, right? If you're a P&C agent, you can insure anybody, and it seems to be counterintuitive to think to yourself, I'm only going to go after this client here, right? The niched client, the well-defined avatar for that you're looking after. Now, what that lightning bolt thought was something that I had never really considered, that the riches are in the niches, and the niche itself is not necessarily the thing that we're concerned about once it's sold. Like, we're not necessarily creating or developing the perfect product for that niche. Now, if you're following me, great. If not, I'll just bear with me. The niching, right? The riches being in the niches all come with messaging, okay? So your marketing message that you're sending out to potential customers and clients, that's where you niche, okay? So it's not in the product. It's not saying, oh, I sell home and auto for XYZ company, and our niche is households that are married, have 2 cars, blah, 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 right? Okay, that could be the niche that we're seeking, but what I think gets lost in the whole thing is considering the message that we need to say in order to attract that subset. So let me use an example, and I'll use an example from Teledudes, how that's niched, right? Or how you could niche it, right? And in fact, we haven't been fantastic at this component, and it's something that we're going to look at, right? Because we want to attract the right client that is going to be the best client for our ecosystem, and it's going to help elevate that ecosystem, especially if you're doing B2B sales. So a lot of agents have other businesses that they do because they get bored with what they're doing at the agency, figure out a way to make it run kind of on its own, and then they go do something else, which is what we've done. And so on the side, we're helping other agents, right? But in theory, we can help any agent. The telefunnel could work for anybody. But is it going to work if we just say, get the telefunnel, it's going to close all your leads? So first we have to figure out, number one, you want to find out your idea. What do you like to do? If we're talking insurance and we're selling insurance, great. You're going to think about that and you must love it. If you don't love it, then what are you doing? But that's the first concept. Second thing is to identify who would be a good niche for your product. So using the Teledude example, here, let me give you examples of too broad to great for our messaging. Remember, it's for our messaging. So we could do insurance agents, a little broad, right? That's everybody. There's over 1 million. So that's too many. The greatness of our message is going to get lost because it doesn't apply to everybody. Sort of like advertising in television, right? You get to a lot of people, but is it really effective if you're selling a lawnmower that will only work if you own a golf course, like a heavy duty industrial lawnmower? No, probably not, right? Because you put that ad on for that thing on prime time, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So the next thing, insurance agents who buy internet leads. Okay. That's better, right? Because we could create messages, do our social media around how to improve your lead results and you need a telefunnel, go into all that. That's better, right? But let's do this. Let's tighten it up even more. How about insurance agents who buy internet leads and spend over $5,000 a month, right? Because we would want to work with people who are more likely to hang on, who are comfortable and understand that there is a cost of goods sold for this business too. And it's basically the leads, right? Our marketing is our cost per goods sold. But that's still not good enough. We could always go deeper. Well, eventually you get to the point where you can't, but let's go deeper. So how about insurance agents who understand internet leads, spend $5,000 a month, and have a sales team who are only doing quotes, not doing the prospecting. Why? Because the telefunnel, to be executed properly, you need telemarketers, and that's the whole point, is having those callers calling the leads, then make that contact. So now, when our messaging is speaking to that person, it's much more effective because they already get it. Let's take it even deeper. number. We could do that. Insurance agents who understand internet leads, spend greater than $5,000 a month on marketing, have a sales team, want to scale, understand the mechanics of the telefunnel, and are a farmer's agent. How about that? We could really tailor a landing page. We could really tailor an email to speak directly to that person. So think about your marketing message wants to make that person that is hearing it say to themselves, wow, he's speaking to me. So if you're an agent who's listening to this and trying to improve your agency, this will apply. Now, let's apply it to your message. If you have an email sequence, do you have an email sequence that's going out? Do you have a script? What's in the script? That's how we're going to affect our messaging, is our scripting, right? Because when we're talking to a consumer, it's going to be a little bit different, but we're still going to function with the avatar in mind, who we're looking for, and why it helps them, and we're going to be better prepared. So that, my friends, is a little bit of gander into the riches in the niches. I hope that helped. I hope you're thinking about that. If you want more, of course, and you haven't been on our YouTubes, go over to the YouTubes. You could also go over to the Facebooks, and you could also check out, I guess there's an Instagram too. But we'd love to have you follow, listen to the podcast. Thanks for listening. We will chat soon.